What's up, everybody? It's Roger and James here from the DisKingdom Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be talking all about my thoughts of Solo, a Star Wars story pinball, which got added to Pinball FX this week. It's also on mobile. It's on PS4, Xbox, PC. I think it's also on the Star Wars pinball that's been kind of added to that as well. In the pack, you get 3 different pinball packs. You get the main Solo Star Wars story one. You also get a Lando Calrissian one, and then you get like a Takom Miliband. It's like a mud trooper level. So you're getting 3 packs, all on Pinball FX free. I was playing it on. Had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed it. It's the same thing as well of it's your typical pinball game. They're a bit. I think they've definitely realized now that if they make shorter tables, they're a little bit more action packed. There's not less bouncing around and stuff. But the visuals, you can tell that this one is made for FX3. It's a lot more sharper, a lot all the graphics around it are a lot better than they were in the other ones.
I lost my train of thought as you were talking there.
Well, there is actually a train that goes through on one of them, that big train from the Solo.
Oh, right, of course.
Got it, and it goes around on on the rail and brings the ball in and stuff. So there is a train in it.
But not my train of thought.
No.
No. So out of the 3 tables that you've got, were any of them particularly stand out to you, or?
I really like the Mud Tripper one. It's dark. It's a bit gritty. It looks like it's dirty. All the metal looks rusted. And there's like little sand. It's like they're almost like the sand crawlers from Tatooine, the sand people. But they're like there's this new, and I don't remember them from the movie. I'm gonna have to watch.
They're not part of Enfy's Nest gang.
No, these are people that were on the planet during when he was when Solo was part of the Empire.
Oh,
and
right.
They pop up and they grab stuff and they're shooting things, and this big AT-ST comes in and is blasting at them, and they chop up from underneath and grab the ball. And it was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that level. It was probably the most fun out of the 3. The Solo one itself is great as well, because you've got the obviously you've got the Falcon and you've got Solo. I'm not so keen on the Lando one. That seems that was less interesting. I like the fact that you got Cloud City and you got Lando standing there, but that was probably my least favorite out of the 3.
Is it just that it doesn't have like as many features or unique bits to it, or is it?
It just seemed a bit blander compared to the other 2. I don't know quite what it was. It wasn't quite. I mean, I think probably with a lot more play, it will be better. It will become better. Unfortunately, it's that kind of thing. If it's launching a few days sort of after Spider-Man, so I was playing it during the same weekend. So put an hour or so into the game, because that's the thing with pinball is you can kind of just jump in, play about with it, jump out, and it's something you can be jumping in and out of all the time. And it's always, for me, pinball is always a nice palate cleanser between games, or if you've only got like half an hour or 20 minutes and you don't want to get deep into a big game, pinball is always something nice just to be, and because it's a digital game, it's just easy just to fire it up, and it's not expensive. These aren't expensive packs.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's been great about the Pinball FX series, regardless of whether we're talking 1, 2, or 3, is the packs are reasonably priced, and you get plenty of you get as much time into it as you want. If you're the person who's constantly chasing the high score, then you're going to get tons of time in it. If you just want to experience it, maybe get the achievement or trophy, and then you're done, you're still going to get plenty for your money's worth. Do we know how much this one's going to cost? Or it does cost?
Don't know. I don't think it's too much, because literally, like I said, as a time of recording, it comes out tomorrow, so I haven't quite seen the pricing yet. I'm gonna guess probably $8-10. I don't think it's so, but the fact you get free tables with it, I think it's good. And generally, as a whole, I always think these Pinball FX tables are very good value for money, because they offer. Because I picked up a load of the Spider-Man, the Marvel, and the Star Wars ones while they've been on sale and stuff, because they quite often go on sale. I've got a massive collection. Unfortunately, my Marvel one are all on a disc rather than actually in people. I brought them on a disc just as they upgraded to FX3, so I didn't quite get, so they don't show up there, which I nearly brought them again in the South. No, I've already brought them twice.
Right, but FX3 does have those extra features.
Yeah.
So, but it is unfortunate that they didn't put an export code on those, like the old Rock Band games used to do with their discs. That's too bad. Are there any cool features on any of these tables? Things that are unique or relatively unique to these tables?
I'm just trying to think. They've got like extra little missions and stuff that you can try and get in there. I suck. I can't quite, when there's hit this thing to kind of open up this zone. I have not got the skills. I'm a pinball player that it is just luck. Where it goes, where the ball goes, where the ball goes. For me, trying to aim it in one direction is very tricky. I mean, I'm trying to play like there was another pinball game out this year. I think it's Yoko Island Express. It's like a platformer with pinball.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, really fun game. But for me, my pinball skills are never. It's like keep it in the air. That's basically as much as I can kind of keep bouncing it around. So I didn't really probably open up a lot of the mini games because I'm just generally not good enough. But it never really bothers me with pinball. It is always that kind of thing of I never worry about what everybody's score is like as long as I'm having fun for 10-15 minutes of just keeping the ball up and just trying to keep that game going as long as you possibly can, because that's always the key thing.
Yeah, and neither of us are Pinball FX masters by any stretch of the imagination, so we have to play just for fun.
It's fun. They also have the challenge mode now that they added in FX3, which I always think adds extra value. Like, how long can you 5-minute challenge? What can you score? The one ball challenge, and then you've got like different ones, and you can upgrade the tables and bits and pieces. So the FX3 version adds a lot more, and you can tell that this one has been made for Pinball FX3 because it's much more been built, designed up for this platform rather than brought over from the previous versions, and they've retrofitted. So it's obviously, if you're brand new to it, this is the better tables to get rather than the older ones, because this one's the more modern version.
Oh, that reminds me, I did have a question about these tables. We've noticed a trend with the Pinball FX tables, especially since they moved to 3, that they tend to be shorter tables. They try to keep it on a single screen. Does that remain true with these 3?
Yeah, very noticeable that it's a lot shorter. Especially, I found the Lando one probably too short. There's not a lot of, it keeps all on the one screen. There's not lots of going up and down. I think there was somewhere around the Pinball 2 era, which they start getting very long. And yeah, it's a lot tighter. It's a lot, but in some ways you can keep your eye on that ball so much easier because the screen's not moving. And it's probably a good thing. That's probably why they've probably been playing it and realizing that the shorter tables are more fun to play than the long, large ones, which kind of goes, you kind of think the opposite, don't you? You think the bigger the table, the better the experience. But I think when you're playing it, it is better to be short.
Yeah, and I could see arguments for doing the longer tables too. I remember playing games like Pokemon Pinball or Sonic Pinball back in the day, and those typically were 3 or 4 screens worth of table that you had to go through. And those were fun, but you also tend to kind of lose track of what's going on. You might lose what the trajectory of the ball is going to be. And then if you get a multi-ball, you're just all sorts of confused, no idea what the heck's going on. So there's good argument for both, but I do like that the FX tables have kind of become more compact and easier to follow.
Yeah, just generally very good set of tables. If you're a Star Wars fan and you like your pinball, it's just an easy recommendation. I would easily recommend this to anyone because it's just nice to have something like this. It's a shame this wasn't out back in May. I'm really glad that they're going back into doing this one. Because they didn't do Infinity War, which or Black Panther, which was a bit disappointing because I always like the Marvel ones. So I'm hoping now that maybe they kind of getting back into it. But they've been doing the Star Wars ones. They did Last Jedi. They've done Solo. I always love these. These are always nice little add-ons and also it's a completely different kind of video game franchise. This is not your big AAA. These are smaller titles, but also it's an entirely different type of gameplay, and it's why not do these as Fiend ones, and there's lots of other ones that are from Pinball, because to be honest, I do try them all out whenever they come out with a new pack. I really like the Universal one as well, but yeah, just some really good different packs that they've been bringing out, and this one just continues that trend.
I think you called it a palate cleanser
Yes.
earlier, and I think that's the perfect description for them because, if you need to just kind of transition between games or you have only a little bit of time before you got to go somewhere or get a project done or whatever, it's a nice little brain reset, and then you can just go on with your day. So
yeah, I also find as well sometimes like when I finish a big game, I have a few nights where I'll just batter about a few different games and like I usually fire at pinball and just have one evening or a few, like even just jump around a few games just to completely just lose that open world zone and just kind of condense down. It's a shame it's not on the Switch yet. There was some, I know when I played the Switch version last year, it was a bit messy. So I think they have had to kind of pull back on that because for some bizarre reason, but you might even want to check it out on your iPads and stuff because I actually think these are perfect mobile games. I used to love playing Pinball FX on 2 and then Pinball on my Vita. I always used to love because it was cross-play. I always used to love that, and it was one of the best kind of mobile games. So it's definitely, you might even want to just check it out on your mobile version because you can download them for free, try them out, and then if you like it, you can buy them. That's always the good thing with these as well. You don't have to buy them and see how you get on. You can try it first, so that's great.
I think, and you kind of briefly alluded to this, the one thing that I really want from Pinball FX, and this isn't unique to that game at all, is that I would love if they had cross-play or a cross-save between the various platforms. I know they've got a certain amount of cross-play already between some of the systems, like Steam can have a leaderboard shared with PS4 or Xbox One, but it would be really great if I could buy the tables on Xbox One and I could have them in my Steam, or I could have them on PlayStation 4, or when the Switch version gets re-released on there, and not have to buy them 5 times if I want them on 5 different systems. Hardly a problem unique to Pinball FX. I hope we're moving towards a future where cross-save becomes more of a thing. But yeah, that would be my one wish list item for Pinball.
Well, on that note, guys, an easy recommendation for me, so definitely go check it out over on all the different stores and stuff. Remember, check us out over at DisKingdom.com, like, follow, and subscribe. James, where can they find you?
Find me heroiclegacy.com.
And on that note, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back soon. Laters.